Welcome to the Unshakable with Human Design podcast, everybody. Welcome. We are in person
We
today
are. It's so
with
good.
the one and only, literally one and only, Judy Holler. I am so excited, like beyond excited. I wanted to
Thank
have you on the show since we met because you are electric.
Oh,
And I admire you so much because I had seen your social and I see you're this amazing speaker, that you are this really magnetic personality. Yet you are in no way intimidating as a person because you are so open. It's very four-line.
mm,
Um,
yeah.
you are so the depth that, because I mean, there's some things that appear flashy, like, and not flashy, but like, you have big personality. Like when, and if anybody listening, if you haven't visited her socials, or if you have, you'll see it's bright colors, it's graffiti, it is this like big personality. But yet there is so much depth and intelligence. And I just, the more I watched you and kind of experienced you, the more impressed I became. And the more I was like, I want to have a conversation. Like we've done readings together and
Yes.
we've had the pleasure of working together in a few ways, that I was like, I really want to have a conversation with you on the show. So thank you for being here. I am so excited.
I receive all of that. I'm really working on being receptive, which is my pearl.
Aren't we all?
But aren't we all? So it's like, thank you. No, really, truly, thank you. And I think that is the compliment of all compliments. When someone says, oh my God, you're just the same way on off stage as you are on stage, or in real life as you are on the socials. And, I always say just because something glitters doesn't make it gold. Right. And so, feel into things and trust yourself, and you kind of know. And so you had an intuitive hit with me. There was something about my page that stopped your scroll. But really, truly, what I reflect back to you is that I'm just a mirror, right? I'm just a mirror for everything you already hold inside yourself. And same with anybody listening. Anything you see in someone else is a reflection of maybe what's lying dormant
Yeah.
or possible in yourself. And we can talk about that, because I feel like I'm here to guide people back home to themselves so they can wake all that juicy shit up. I don't know if we can cuss on this podcast, but your girl just
Oh,
went
we
there.
can.
Pardon me. I'll try and keep it. I'll try and keep it clean here. But yeah, like literally, what a compliment to receive, and just thank you for that. I
I
feel like
meant
that's
every
the
word.
assignment. I feel like that's the assignment, just to guide.
And we have so much to get into. I'm going to read your official bio, though, so everybody gets a little bit of, that
Cool.
was my own personal introduction, but I'm going to read a little bit because I'm holding your book
Oh my God, it's so exciting.
and
It's like
I'm
in
very
the
excited
wild
about it.
almost. Almost.
Your book, I'm one of the first people to hold it that's
Yeah.
not part of like your team or like married to you. So I'm
Yes.
I'm honored. So I'm going to read from here. Judy Holler is a creative entrepreneur, motivational speaker, and poet leading a revolution of self-expressionism. Her bold, self-driven approach to life and work. Born to holler, literally, Judy helps people amplify their voice, unlock their creativity, and boldly chase what sets their soul on fire. Through performance poetry and the power of her pen, she inspires originality, courage, and radical self-expression. Whether on stage, on the page, or in your earbuds, Judy is here to remind you, you are the art. Your life is the canvas. Amen.
Yeah, and it almost makes me emotional to hear you read that out loud, because, oh my God, here we go. The- Is this a record? Is this a record? Can we get tissues in the studio? Oh my God, it's just the journey of self-discovery that I've been on, and to be able to bravely and confidently say that I am a self-expressionist and I am here to help people be the full expression of themselves is the divine assignment that I have been so afraid to say out loud for so long. And to be able to have it come out into the world, to be standing on keynote stages now teaching the art of self-expressionism, to proudly declare myself a self-expressionist, and to really use the last name I was born with in a way that allows people to feel safe to be the full expression of themselves is what I have been wanting to do my whole life, and I've been so afraid to do. And off we go. So we can unpack that. But just to hear you read that out loud is really, really cool. Because I'm doing it. I'm doing it with me shaking like Bambi. I'm doing it.
You're doing it. And, the book is called Holler at Your Dreams.
Yeah.
Your name actually is Holler. That's
Born
not
with it.
something born with it, which just feels preordained
Oh, yeah.
for you to be doing what you're
Truly.
doing. And I have so many questions. Where I want to start is tell everybody, what is self-expressionism to you? You
Mm.
use that word, that is kind of the term that you've coined.
Yeah.
What does that mean to you?
Yeah. So, in a nutshell, I consider it to be kind of I believe the future is going to be self expressed. So, it's sort of like a bold, keywords here, soul driven, self leadership philosophy built for the future of life and work. And ultimately, I believe that when you live, work, and be like a self expressionist, you will build a life and career that feels like yours.
And so tell me a little bit about, you said you were scared to do this. You
Hmm.
don't strike me as a terribly fearful person. So, and I know that there are the people who like the mostly women, but the person listening to this show, they listen because they want to be fully expressed. They want to step into who they are. Some people want to find who they are.
Yeah.
Some people are like, I know what it is, but I haven't fully owned it. You don't strike me as a like scared wilting flower. But can you talk to me a little bit about what that means to you, like to say like I'm scared but I'm doing it, and what does that how does that show up for you?
Yeah, it's everything. Well, first of all, we gotta drop my favorite Lil Wayne lyric, which is "Throw dirt on me, grow a wildflower." So I am a wildflower, and I love all the wildflowers. It's one of my favorite quotes, lyrics, bars in a piece of poetry, which I consider. I love hip hop. We come from the '90s, and so I think it's some of the most beautiful poetry on the planet when done right, especially our '90s hip hop. I digress on hip hop, but coming back full circle to living fully expressed. My first book is called "Fear Is My Homeboy" and "Courage." So let's have a conversation about that. And I don't believe I would be sitting here hollering at my dreams if I did not use the concept of my first book and understand how to make fear my homeboy. This wouldn't even be in existence. So one of the things people don't know about me, and I think would be surprised to understand, is that I am actually one of the biggest fraidy cats you'll ever meet. However, I believe that's what makes me qualified to write about fear because I do it scared all the time. And I have become a professional fear facer because I understand how to dance with fear and how to ride with it, how to befriend it, and how to, most importantly, put it in its place when it needs to be checked. And so I'm scared all the time. I just have built a tolerance for pain that allows me to move more intuitively, take more risks, put myself in rooms, jump before I'm ready, and just sort of trust that human design has helped me with this. But trust that I'm protected and that I'm divinely aligned and that I'm evidence. That I'm evidence because I exist. I think we are living proof. Think of all the hard things you've done up until this point. Some of you listening have gotten married, gotten divorced, moved across the country, started new jobs, quit jobs, death, diagnosis. We have done hard things. You are already the evidence of courage itself simply because you are breathing oxygen, right? And so I think we forget that we've got this resume already of like dopeness that we are forgetting to call upon. And I have a degree in dopeness, meaning I may not have made straight A's in school, and I may not have a PhD or a master's in whatever, and I may not be a scientist or have like the most groundbreaking strategy, but I do have a degree in dopeness, and that is the dopeness of understanding self and like understanding that I can do it. Like I have done hard things and lived to talk about it, so it kind of gives me the courage to keep doing it and see what happens. Is that a like catchphrase? Did we just create something
I
there?
think you
I
just
should edit the book. Degree. I think I have a quote in the book, trust your dopeness. But yeah, like I really do. I think I have a degree in dopeness, and that is just the willingness to look cringe, the willingness to fail, the willingness to disappoint other people, but may I never disappoint myself, the willingness to get it wrong, the,
yeah.
the, the willingness to look silly,
To try.
To just
I think because I'm a fraidy cat. I am when I think about all the things that I've done a lot of hard things, but I've also not done a lot of things
yeah.
fully. My core wound is half-heartedness, which is, I think, the fraidy cat's uh, real Achilles heel is the fact that it can seem like we're trying, but I'm half-hearted in it because the fear of actually succeeding is actually the thing that I'm most scared of. Or there have just been these, like, I was an actor. I did brave things. I moved across the country and I put myself out there and I went on auditions and I did things, but I didn't do everything. I didn't love the business of show business. I really don't like the hobnobbing and the ass kissing and and whatever else goes on to get the roles that you're looking for. I wasn't that type of person, and I'm not great at being phony. I can act, but I don't like to act in my
So
real
you're too
life.
real for show business, baby.
It was just like integrity
Yeah.
gets in the way
Yeah.
sometimes of ambition.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
but I kind of just thinking about like fears. I've done a lot of hard things, but I've also had to look at like when have I not gone for it with everything that I have.
Yeah.
And that's what has been the journey for me. I think everybody has their journey with fear.
Of course.
And I think we can also look at the things that we haven't done or the things that haven't worked out, or we can forget all of the hard things that we did and we take them for granted. Like, oh, anybody can do that.
Yes.
And it's like, well, no, there are a
Not
lot of
really.
people who don't.
There's most people don't. It is easier to play it safe. It is easier to ignore. It is easier to numb. It is easier to, you know, hope and wish and excuse your way in and around things, right?
And I think it's easier as well to just fall into the patterns that everybody finds acceptable. I think it's very courageous to be like, I'm going to be different.
On
I'm going to do
purpose.
the thing that people are going to say I'm crazy for.
Yes.
And I have been called crazy, probably
Mm.
not to my face, but in back rooms behind my back.
Oh.
Like, who's she kidding? Like, oh yeah, they're like, yeah, go for it. And they're like, she's out of her mind. And probably everything that I've done in the last 15 years of my life have been quote unquote crazy.
Oh, yeah.
But, here's to the crazy ones.
Here's to the crazy ones. And it's okay to live a life people don't understand.
Yeah,
You
it's your
know?
life.
Yeah. And yeah, it's yours. And that's the point, right? Like, that's one of the beautiful gifts of human design is like, and one of the things you've taught me and really reflected back to me is like, and I think you said this at the opening. I just on the way here, I listened to your projector podcast, all about us projectors. And you opened it by saying one of my favorite things about human design, and I concur, is, when we think about fear and what everybody else is doing and the ways fear shows up, because we look around at what everybody else is doing and we're like, well, if everybody's doing this kind of course, I might as well go do this. Well, everybody's building funnels. I should go build funnels. Oh, everybody's got an Instagram grid that looks this way. I should go do this. Everybody. So we start looking around. And one of the things you say about human design, whether you're comparing yourself to other people or other people's paths or whatever that may look like, human design is just this beautiful reminder that there's only your path.
Yeah.
And it helped me like I felt so protected. Like good for her. Ooh, but that's not for me.
Yeah.
Ooh, you go, girl. I love that funnel for you. I love that course for you. I love that conference for you. I'm going to be over here doing my little thing in my laboratory and call me on Sunday, right? Like, but you see what I'm saying? Like, now I just don't feel, I went through such a phase of, ooh, I got bitter. I was so bitter and jealous, and I had this chip on my shoulder because things weren't working in my life, and I'd lost myself in like 2022, and so I just really went through this phase of like bitterness, and so I had to go on a journey to go to find her and to come back home, and that's really what's in the pages of the book. But the moral of the story is, human design has really helped me sort of realize like there's nobody, I'm not running anybody else's race. This is my game, and it is okay for me to live a life that other people don't understand because it's mine. It's my one wildly dope, precious life,
Yeah.
and it's going to be scary at times, and it might feel unconventional for other people, but I kind of trust the path and the process and the purpose.
And that's the whole thing. I mean, and something that I wanted to point out, you're a 4/6 emotional projector, just so people know, because they want to
Yeah.
know. They
Yeah.
want to know on the show. Because I think it's also, I love showing people because I was talking to one of my former clients this morning, and I was talking about you, and she knows who you are, and I was like, yeah, she's a projector, and she's like, get out.
Isn't that wild?
Like, everybody thinks you're a mani-gen.
Oh, I was so, remember I told you is this what you're about to say? Go ahead, finish
No,
it.
no,
I
no,
love
go
it.
for it.
Well, I was so mad. So when I literally ran it twice. I'm like, oh, I'm clearly put in. Did I put AM instead of PM? 144. Did I get it right? Did I put the 0 in front of the 1? I was so furious that I was a projector. I was like, I am so Manny Jen. I'm going to be with all my Manny Jen friends. Look at my life. I am, of course, a manifesting generator. Look at me. I'm a manifester and I'm a generator. I'm a hustler. I'm a grinder. I get things done. I'm a finisher, which I am a finisher, and that's okay. And I could still be a projector finisher. But oh, I was like uncomfortable with being a projector. And then Nicole's like, oh, well, did you understand that only 20% of the world are these projector energies? And I went from feeling mad to like, well, shit, maybe I'm a unicorn over here. And I've been living in this like other world. Well, no wonder things weren't working. No wonder I was trying to squeeze my projector soul into a manifesting generator world. And no wonder I was blocking literally all of my blessings.
Yeah, and I think that one of the things as you were talking, and you were talking about, fear is my homeboy, and you were talking about, your rise to where you are now, and that journey that you've taken to get here. One of the things that was standing out to me was whether you knew you were doing it or not, but when you find out you're a projector, you can start to do this more deliberately, which is, I think, the power of human design. It's not to be like, okay, now let's put you in this box, because that's not what it's about. I wanted to be a projector. I wanted people to tell me to like that I'm supposed to be some guide, and that I needed to nap more. I was super disappointed when I was like when I found out I was a Manny-gen. Did you ever? Yeah, exactly. Well, we all want something. I think the first reaction to your chart is a very valid one to look at. What were you hoping it would be, and why?
Yeah.
And to me, I was like, I wanted to be like, tell me I'm a sage. Tell me that I wanted to be like a
Yeah.
6-line projector. Like, tell
Yes.
me I'm a sage who's just meant to guide you. I need to nap more, spend more time in my own energy, and just tell people what to do. That sounded great to me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and then I had to be confronted with the fact that like, okay, that's not your way. It doesn't mean you can't do those things. I can nap whenever I
Yes,
want,
you
but the
can.
truth is that I don't need too
You don't
much.
need to. We
Not really.
literally.
I don't nap. My husband naps all the
Oh,
time. He's a professional napper.
yeah.
But as a projector, what I think is so powerful about this is that projectors rise when they recognize themselves,
That's beautiful.
and when they
Yeah.
only give their energy to things that they want to be recognized for. And where one of my clients wrote in our telegram this morning asking me about what type of a projector she was, because there's a classic projector, there's a mental projector, and then there's energy projectors. You're an energy projector, which energy projectors mean you have a motor defined, at least one, and you have the emotional motor defined. But the difference is you do have energy, so you can present like something else. You're not going to be as tired as my husband. And you'll find that you will be brighter in all the areas that you show up in. Your energy enters the room before you do. And if you're depleted, you deplete that. And if you deplete that, then you're working harder for your success. And if you're working harder for your success, you're out of alignment.
You're out of alignment.
And that's so it's more of a way of like, it's a way of saying like to check in with yourself as a roadmap. And for you, I think you've learned to recognize yourself for your degree in dopeness.
Oh, yeah.
And the more you've owned that through that, like your light has shined. So, which gives you energy, which gives you power, and which makes you, that overused word right now, magnetic.
Right.
But that's why people are drawn to you. You're a very successful professional speaker. I want to talk about that. I want to talk about the book. But I want to ask you about, you've called this book an oracle.
Oh, yeah.
Talk to me about how you would love, in a perfect world, everybody who's listening buys this book, Holler at Your Dreams. And how are they using this? What are they doing?
Okay, well, we should do an oracle before we end today. We'll sort of wrap and ask the book a question and get our answer from it. And sometimes, like, let's let the conversation happen and see if it affirms anything we've talked about or how it connects to what we've done. I wrote the book. It's got 4 sections. So we start with pain. We gotta feel it. We gotta sit in it. Sometimes we have to lose ourselves to find ourselves. So the first section, the book is grouped into 4 sections. It begins with pain. Um, and the book, by the way, is full of poetry, personal development, art, and prose to illustrate the concepts, I believe, are available to help someone holler at their dreams, no longer chase dreams, actually catch dreams. So that's kind of the makeup of the book. It's artistic. It's got coffee table book energy, but you can read it front to back. You start with pain. You go from pain to peace. Now we make peace with it. Ooh, now that we've felt it and we're feeling the things, where are we at with that? And what does peace look like? And how do we get peace with the things that maybe feel uncomfortable or icky or maybe bigger, or that fear of success that we have lurking around the corner, all this good stuff. And then once we've sort of felt the pain and we've made peace with it, ooh, now we step into presence. Who are we now? This is the becoming. This is the what could we become? What have we become? What do we want to become? And from there, we move into the paradigm. This is where we shift into new dimensions and we think even bigger and we go to a whole new universe and a bigger way of thinking for ourselves, right? So, pain, peace, presence, and paradigm are the 4 sections. You could read this book front to back. However, intuitively and in my bones, how this book came through for me was a bit like an oracle. Like, dare I say, it's a book you could ask a question to and receive an answer to. So one of my favorite things to do in life is to, when I'm lost, when I'm stuck creatively, when I need an answer, the books in my office that surround my writing computer are all my favorite books in the world. The books that have changed my life the most, art books, personal development books, poetry books, all this stuff. And so I will be lost. I will be stuck on what to write in my newsletter. I will be stuck on a decision I need to make. I will be stuck on whatever it is in life, a conversation I need to have with a friend. And I will go to the books on my shelf. I will pull one out and I will say, what do I need today? And I will
Yeah.
let the pages tell me the answer. And I will use whatever's there to reflect. And 99.99999% of the time, it is exactly what I needed and then some. So this is what you're going to write about with your spin. This is how you're going to approach that conversation with your friend. This is the message you need today. So I said, what if I could, I have like chills. Like, what if I could write a book like that allows the reader to also get the answers they need in this book? And so, yeah, you can ask her a question and get your answer and let that guide you. This is also, gift giving is my love language, and I'm always looking for the perfect gift. And so I wanted to create that beautiful treasure you could give a best friend, a team, that is, and it's this unique little design. It's like a square, 410 pages of magic. So she's going to be really beautiful to give in as a gift. That just is something that serves someone. You don't just read it and put away. This is a book that's like actively on your nightstand. This is on a coffee table. This is like there's a buzz. This book is kind of alive, right? And that's why I think it's an oracle. And I don't know. You could read it traditionally, but I wrote it very untraditionally to just let you use it as you need to use it.
I think it's actually more the way people read. I don't think that most people will stop at some point, where I think a lot of personal development books or, nonfiction can sometimes feel like the same things get repeated, or where it's like, okay, I get it
I
now.
get it now.
And then you put it away. I'm guilty of that. I'm a
Same.
Manny Gen, so we are not finishers, by the way.
We're finishers. I
You're
finish.
finished. We are not finishers. We're like, yeah, I get the gist. Next. What's the next thing? To give me my next, like, sacral yes. This is a no for me now. But I feel like this is actually more the way that people read, because it's more about, like, what do I need right now? And what's speaking to me right now. And I love that you've positioned it that way, where they're not putting it away like I'm done with it. That it's something that they will use, that the reader will use and come back to
Yes,
over and over again.
yes, and maybe someone's in pain right now and they need to go there. Maybe someone is in a really great place and they need to remember who they are. So they're going to go right to presence. Maybe someone needs to get some peace in their life. Maybe someone has all the cards lined up and they want to get to another dimension and get weird with it, baby. We're going to go right to presence, right? So where are you today? And there are 365 original ideas, something new every day. So it's like it's like a little bite-sized book that you can, yeah, it's an unbook. But yeah, like, where are you today? And you know what? Listen, I don't know about you. We're women over 45. You're going to go through pain and then you're going to heal. And guess what? You're going to have to come all the way back to the beginning and go through new pains as things change your life. So we're never fully, it is life is a dance of becoming, of change and growth and reinvention. That's the whole point. So it's kind of like a lifelong answer. Well, it's a long-term answer to the lifelong pursuit of growth and change and reinvention, which is the whole point. So
Talk to me about paradigm. Talk to me about, because that's a word that I think people use. And I'm curious, like in the context of this, so we have pain, understood, presence. So now we've moved through our pain and now we're ready to kind of maybe,
peace, presence,
peace,
yes,
presence, excuse
yeah.
me. And then we've got paradigm. Talk to me about paradigm. What's that part?
This is like the cosmic part of my soul. Like the like
Came to the right place.
yeah, this is the woo woo. This is the woo woo in Judy that wanted to kind of, I've been building up in my mind and I'm slowly bringing it to life. This holoverse, right? This world that I've been dreaming up where like, you know, boom boxes are muse and our manifestos written in graffiti and the world is neon and brave, like courage is our crown and self-expression is our strategy and intuition is our primary brain and it's bold and creative and different and it's and I just had this vision. I'll tell you the truth. I had this vision of like this UFO. I'm like, what? How can I end this book? And it was like this like UFO came over me and it was like this bright pink light beaming down on me. And I was like, ooh, beam me up into this like hovers. Let's get weird. Let's go to a place that what could be possible here if I really stepped into this presence I've become? Like if I really fully embody Holler, what's next? What does bigger look like? What does stranger look like? What does braver, what does more expressed look like? So for me, it's a place of playfulness and joy and weirdness and cosmic divine energy. And this is just like the truth of it. I wanted to shift people into new dimensions for themselves internally so they could wake up what is possible when they tap into their potential because I think that's the divine assignment. I am here to use my voice and the full expression of that voice to help others feel safe in using the full expression of their voice. And I can't do that if I don't show I can't do that just in jeans and a t-shirt. I've gotta get like more
Yeah,
fully
fully.
expressed.
Yeah.
Like I have to like, whoa. So in these photo shoots that I do and these worlds that I'm going to be bringing to life, I go there. It's like it's the Sasha Fierce that Beyonce has. We all have that internal. It's like I have these. It's me, but it's the fullest expression of where I want people to go with me. Because if I can show them the way, maybe they'll feel more confident in saying, "Well, she can do that. I can do this."
I mean, I think that's you put up a clip from one of your speeches because you're a professional speaker, and I want to talk to you just about. I'm going to say that most of our audience, like that I know, is out there, and we've done some polling and just talking with people in our community. That's on a lot of people's lists. I want to be a professional speaker. I
Love
want to
it.
get paid to speak,
Yeah,
and I think that there's a big question mark as to how that actually gets done because you actually get paid to speak.
I do.
I want to
I'm a
differentiate
pro
that.
speaker. That's how I make 80%. That's my job. That's how I make my money.
And a lot of people that are speaking, that's not how they're making their money. And that's fine, but you actually get paid for this.
Yeah.
So I feel like you have a level of qualification that I want to really set apart here. You put up a clip from one of your speeches where you talked about, I don't remember her name, but somebody from IBM.
Oh, Candace. Oh, I love this. We have to tell this
Tell
story.
tell the story because I watched that and I was like, I want to talk to her about this on the show because I think that is sort of it's this
Oh, it's everything.
and it's what you're here for because I want to also say that you're a cross of planning person, which I think there's usually an idea about the cross of planning. Oh, that's the old way. That's really structured. It's infrastructure. No, it's about doing things smartly and building something and being a person who can build things. But you're led by the 16th gate, the gate of enthusiasm and skills. And you've built a skill. It isn't just enthusiasm, but it's the enthusiasm that caused you to build the skills that you have.
Yes.
And now you're, you know, spewing enthusiasm, like you're radiating it everywhere. And I think you're an example of somebody living their conscious sun, their incarnation cross, and the way you've approached the work has been the way I wish everybody would approach the work, which is not from a place of like a destination of like, okay, now I know where I'm going. You've been living your life in a way where you're stepping into yourself too. But you look at the human design work and it's been amazing for me because you're like, I take my business reading report and I sit with it with my morning
I
coffee
do.
and I journal and I'm like, you have no
That's
idea
what I
how
did on my
happy this
birthday.
makes me.
It was my birthday gift to myself. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I was like, I went through it. I printed it. I'm laying at a pool. My husband's like, what is that? I have like highlighters. And I'm like, this is Nicole's report. It's like this beautiful 40-page report. And then I take it and dissect it. And then I divide it up into sections. And then I like, oh my gosh, I'm a student. I'm a student of the work for sure.
And I love that. And I love that what you've done is you're allowing it to either unlock or open wider the
Yeah.
doors within yourself that have always been there. And to go like, what happens if I go deeper into this?
Yes.
What if I really were, wow, that's there? I thought so. What if I turned that dial way up? What would happen then? What does that really mean for me? So I love that. So I wanted to say that, but tell everybody the story
Oh
about
my
Canvas
God.
from IBM.
Oh my God. Okay. So this was, we all have those flash points that are life defining and life changing. This is certainly one of them because I had been dreaming and deeply desiring this free ability to talk about self-expression on stage in the keynote world. But keep in mind, I'm paid as a corporate keynote speaker, and those conversations feel very scary inside of corporate America. So when I launched Holler at Your Dreams to the World in 2023, low key for real, it fell flat. And I was called by a lot of bureaus and agents and people in the business, people outside of me that told me it was dangerous. Nobody's going to get it. Nobody's going to understand it. Um, Companies don't need people hollering at their dreams. They need people getting shit done, making money, getting results, all of this stuff. And oh, how's that working out for you? Are you busy? And like all these things, right? Not out of care, but out of critique. And I call them the money grabbers. These people start coming around you when you get to a certain level of success. I write about it in the book, and everybody's got the way to fix you. You know what? Just write me this check, and I'm gonna tell you this is how you're gonna scale, and this is how I'll fix you, and this is the message that's really gonna work. But soul knows, and I knew that I wanted to use this verb, and I knew that I wanted to help people holler at their dreams, and I knew that I wanted to live out loud as a self-expressionist. Like I wanted to come out of that creative closet so bad, but I was so scared. Like how will I pay my mortgage? How will I pay my team? I'm the breadwinner in my family. Like this is the business. It's like, will I lose everything? And people were telling me, like, are you busy? And I'm like, I actually wasn't as busy at the time in 2023 when somebody said that to me. So I got scared and I pulled back. And this specific brand manager said to me, well, I've got the solution. I know what's going to fix you, Judy. And I have to give you this backstory before I tell Candace so
Yeah.
that you can understand how powerful this moment was just 6 months ago
Right.
with with Candace. So I hired this brand manager. I'm scared and I'm doubting myself, but I knew Holler at Your Dreams was it, but I'm scared. This brand manager goes, I got the thing. We're going to fix you. You're going to be the verb girl. That's what we're going to do. We're going to be the verb. So we're going to rebrand your book, the title of the book, your keynote, your website, everything. You're going to be the verb girl. Corporate will get that. Everybody's going to understand that. So I go, okay, I guess I'm going to be the verb girl. So I rebrand everything. I redo the keynote. I redo the book cover. We do everything and we change everything to be the verb. And inside, I am dying. I'm snapping at my husband. I'm not sleeping really good. I'm miserable. I'm on stage giving my keynote. I lost probably a year of video because I cannot use any of it because I just am a shell of myself. I don't know who that person is. And most acutely and most importantly, I could not make a decision on the cover of this book. And I was pissing off all these people and wasting a ton of money and time and energy because I was like, what's it going to be? What's it going to be? It's coming out in September. We got to start. We need a decision. So we get to a point in March this year. So keep in mind, I'm out there. I'm be the verb girl, okay? But inside, I'm slowly dying. I'm like, what is happening? And why am I feeling resistance? And why am I mad at everybody? And why am I bitter? And why do I have the chip on my shoulder? And everything's like, whack. Push comes to shove. And we have to make a decision on this cover. They're like, yo, we got 48 hours. Like, we have to start moving, right? And rightfully so. I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm like, oh my God. I can't do this. And I go, I know what it is. I go, and this is like literally the keynote of my entire presentation. I go, I am sitting here painting my life's canvas with other people's brushes. And what I came to learn, because be the verb wasn't mine, that keynote wasn't really mine. That book cover wasn't mine because be the verb and the concept and the idea was assigned to me by a brand manager outside of me to fix me, but it was never mine. And the keynote is this: if something doesn't belong to you, it will not stay with you and you will not want to stay with it. So maybe for you, it is not a keynote or a book title. It is a version of success that no longer fits. Maybe it's a relationship that now has tension. Maybe it's the actual clothes in your closet. Maybe it is a limiting belief. Like, if it is yours, it ain't gonna stay, baby. And you're not gonna want to stay with it. So I have this awakening. I fire everybody. I call my graphic designer and I say, Ginger, you're gonna kill me. But I knew she would get it. I go, I'm shutting the whole thing down. She goes, what are you doing? And I go, I'm right. We got to redo the cover. I go, girl, it's Holler at Your Dreams. It's always been. She's crying. I'm crying. We're like, let's go. Like, it was like Jerry Maguire with the fish tank, her and I against the world. I'm like, so we get rid of everything. We call our power back. And I'm like, this book was, and always will be. It was born to be Holler at Your Dreams. And I believe. So I rewrote the keynote. I redid the cover. I redid my website. I called my power back and I did it. Scared as hell, shaking like Bambi, going, I have no idea how corporate's going to react to this, but I react to it, so let's go. So I get hired by this Women in Technology forum, okay? And I'm a corporate keynote speaker. Keep in mind, my biggest fear is that I'm not going to make any money and I'm never going to work again. And my livelihood and the love of my life, which is performing and speaking and really guiding people back home to themselves and being this projector energy that I am, was going to go away. And so I needed a sign. I needed validation to, like, is this it? So I am on a prep call for this Women in Technology event that was in Huntington Beach in May with the board of directors, for, like IBM and Microsoft and Apple, and like big women in tech in this room, 2,000 women almost. And we're going around the room and I'm asking them all the questions to get prepared for my speech, as I always do. Tell me about your audience. What's the theme? What's keeping you up at night? All the stuff, so you can customize the content, which every pro speaker should do, so you can design an experience that feels like theirs. The last question I always ask is this. I go, so you've had a lot of speakers at this event. It's a women's event, and they've hired women's speakers for this event. I said, you've had a lot of women on your stage over the years. You got to tell me what works, what doesn't work, what's really crushed, what hasn't. So everybody's going around the Zoom room giving me answers. I'm taking notes, and I noticed Candace with IBM, Jersey girl, really outspoken the whole call, hadn't said anything. And
Oh,
everybody said, yeah. And I'm like, okay, why hasn't she said anything? So I say, we're about to wrap up the call. So, Candace, would you like to add anything? Anything you want to say about that before we wrap up? And she goes, Judy, I wasn't going to say anything. And I almost didn't, because I really, truly didn't know if this would be of value to you or if this would help. But since you asked, I'm just going to say it. The second she says that to me, I kid you not, I get the back sweat. My heart starts racing. I have the corporate PTSD. I'm holding onto my table because I know what Candace with IBM is going to tell me. She's going to tell me to not be too much. She's going to tell me to tone it down. She's going to tell me to, maybe watch what I wear, not do my hair too crazy. Maybe don't wear that hot pink suit, whatever, or graffiti, like that could, So I'm like, she's going to tell me to tone it down. I'm like, shit, here we go, right? And I'm holding on to the table. And she goes, so yeah, Judy, we have had a lot of speakers on our stages over the years. And she goes, and they all have their thing. They all look a certain way. They all talk a certain way. They all dress a certain way. They all move their body a certain way. They all tell stories a certain way. So, Judy, you're going to have your thing. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, whatever your thing is, my girl, do more of it. Be more of it.
what
She goes,
beautiful permission.
be more you.
I get emotional.
I tell the story on stage, and I'm like, here I am. It gave me, number one, in an instant, I felt, in 10 years of doing this as a pro speaker, no one's ever told me that, number one. Number two, in an instant, I felt so safe to show up as the full expression of myself. It poured more confidence and courage onto the courage and swagger I already had to be even more me up there. And it was my answer. Because if Candace at IBM, Senior Vice President of Sales inside of IBM exists, so do others. So I blow up the safe talk. I decide to give the self-expression talk. And for the first time ever in Huntington Beach, in front of 2,000 women in technology, I gave the art of self-expressionism talk, where I take the brain and I divide it into 4 questions. I divide it into 4 quadrants. each quadrant aligning with HOLLER. And I taught for the first time ever the art of self-expressionism to a standing ovation, to a rebooking in New York this December on the spot, and 35 direct leads to come into other organizations, 3 of
Wow.
which I've already booked. So that was all I needed to know, that, okay, divine assignment, okay, divine alignment, okay, trusting the gate of enthusiasm, trusting the everything that I have known to be true, and proceeding despite the fear, and kind of coming back home to self. So it was a life defining moment, and I'm so grateful for it. Candace will go down in history, and the second she said it to me, I go, oh, that's that I'm going to tell this story for a real. So of course I go into that keynote and I open with that story.
Yeah.
And Candace is in the room, and now it's my open. I tell that story a little differently on stage, and I'm like, that's the point. So my segue is, just imagine if we could do more of that. If leaders inside of our organizations did more of that. What if we did more of that for each other? Like, what could we create, and who could we become, and how could we innovate? And so it's the open.
I love that. And I love that, because I think we have an idea like, what will it take for me to be a speaker? What will it take for me to be to be successful? And we can tend to look at other people's way.
Yep.
And that's my thing with human design is, there is no the way. And that's how things have been up until now. It's been like, this is the way.
Yeah.
There's the Russell Brunson way. There's the this way. There's the that way. Tony Robbins way. There were all of these people that set off like these hard-lined courses, which I think at the time is probably what people needed to start to embrace these new ways of doing things, was to be like, okay, give me the track for this because it's all very new. But now that we've been on that track, now that I think we're ready to hear that, there is no the way, there's only your way. And finding your way is the sustainable path. And that's the way to success, because we've all seen, because, pink suits and graffiti, I would not be able to
It's
work
not yours.
that because it's not
yours.
me.
It's not yours.
I have my way, I have my vibe, and I'm a Manny Jen. So it's not like, and again, it's like we have these preconceived notions about what these types or what these things are. And it's not that. It's not a projector. Like, you had an idea of what a projector was, like that it was going to be dull or lifeless or something. And it's like, Taylor Swift's a projector.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I mean, there's hardly, like, she's not lying in bed all day. Girl
No.
busy.
Girl busy.
She's got new
She's a
album.
poet. I mean,
A
look,
poet and
songwriter,
but there's
entrepreneur,
an elegance to the way that
elegance.
she does things. She don't waste time.
No,
Obviously.
no. She's a finisher. And then some. Another new album. My God. She's a machine. Yeah. She's a machine.
I love it. But there's not a way that any of these things expresses itself. There's your way. And for you, your way, I think you're very much living this purpose, this destiny that you have, which is to be an example of and guide people to their most enthusiastic life. What they're enthusiastic about is not going to be what you're enthusiastic about. But for you, you're like, it's this. It's hollering at your dreams. And I think that that's so incredibly valuable. And part of the reason I wanted to have you on the show is I've wanted to have conversations on this show because I think that there is some confusion over what it really takes to succeed. And there are so many strategic paths to go down. There are so many, like, I need to have events, or I need to,
Yes.
I need to be this person because they did it that way. And to me, and I want to ask you the question, what do you think, if there's anything universal in success? You have success, you're around a lot of people who have had various degrees of success. What do you see if you were to be like, I know there's not one thing, but if you were like, this is the most important thing, what do you feel it is?
For success.
Yeah.
To be successful.
In life.
In life, I think it is a significant tolerance for pain.
Spoken like an emotional authority.
And I'm a professionally trained, you're an actress. I'm a professionally trained improviser. And I do improv on stage in my keynotes. So I use art and poetry and music and graffiti and improv. I get people on stage that they're really interactive, but improv changed my life. And it one of the biggest things it did for me was really help me get chill about the cringe and chill about the failure and chill about the getting it wrong and the chill about the looking stupid, because I think that's the level of success. There's so many people that want the quick fix, the course, the solution. And listen, I've taken courses that have changed my life. Marie Forleo's B School in 2013, when I took that, taught me everything about building an online business. And then I went and made it mine and turned it into all these other things. So there are some beautiful tools like human design courses, learning. Of course, go out there and get that education for yourself. In the speaking business, I have a very big problem with people promising overnight success in this space, or manufacturing preview videos, or editing clips to make you look good on stage and stopping and starting. There's a lot of this that happens, and that ain't real. That ain't authentic, because now someone's going to hire you and you can't really deliver a full talk. And, I need to see you speaking for 6 minutes straight, no edits. Can you deliver that? I love your sizzle, and we need those. We need those chopped up jump cuts. People love that. Get to it, right? You got a jump cut for Instagram and all that.
Yeah.
But like, do you have tape of you for 6 minutes at minimum delivering a keynote on stage? And if you don't have that, you're not ready for the corporate stages yet. Go get that, and start building to that. You build to that. But what success takes is a tolerance for pain, in my opinion, patience, the ability to focus and stay in your lane and put those blinders on and to buckle up and do the work and sometimes maddeningly watch other people get it before you and watch people less talented go, and watch other people win, you have to just do the work and have the bad talks and the cringe moments and the bad off outfits. And I'll never forget my first keynote where I was hired, and I was like 11 years ago, and I was paid money, and I had a video crew, and I wore all these chains, and I had a microphone on, and I lost all the video because I was ching 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 ching, like all these things, and just so many bad talks, so many bad slide decks, so many bad ballrooms, so many bad outfits. I mean, go through a scroll into the archives of my Instagram and you will see an evolution of cringe. You will watch me, even the way I look changes, right? Because as I, it's interesting. I would, even with the way I was forcing my not becoming by blonding my hair. I'm a dark-haired girl, and I came back to my natural color over the years, and I think it's just helped me look better and more like myself. But I was like fighting who I was. But I love her because it's the becoming of and the braveness required on the relentless pursuit of figuring out what dope is for you, right? What
Yep.
what a wildly precious, dangerously inspiring life is for you. And so success is what, at the end of the day, it's the unpretty stuff. It's just the work and being real and not faking it, because we don't fake it around here. We make it around here. And I think that's a big difference. Sometimes you have to, right now we're chasing the USA Today bestseller. So we're trying to make this book a national bestseller, right? And so I am literally walking around seductively slow in this how does a national bestseller, oh, I'm about to go, oh, I'm booked on Good Morning America. If I sit down, I'm trying to move around in that energy of it already is. And so how does she dress today? How does she show up today? How does she get ready today? What does her vanity look like? What is she drinking in the morning? What is she not drinking? What is she eating? What is she not eating? So, but that's not faking it. That's making it until you make it. So maybe, so you see what I'm saying? That's an energy. Faking it is like trying to do what someone else is doing, or putting yourself into a box, or bending like Gumby, or caging yourself, or wearing something like sitting here on this podcast being like really uncomfortable and all these Spanx because I wore something because I think that's how I'm supposed to show up. No, I'm going to wear the denim dress and the white boots. I feel like I need these big hoops. Okay, that's the vibe, right? That's just like a comfort, right? So I think success is comfort on the other side of courage.
And there's a journey to getting to that level of comfort. You have
A
to.
long journey. I'm 49 years old and I'm still figuring it out. I'm staring down the barrel of 50 and I feel like, oh my gosh, finally. You know what I mean?
But you're a 6 line as
But I'm
well.
a
So
6
this
line.
is that, you're in that magic moment of
the
being
time.
like, ta-da.
Ta-da.
I'm finally
Here she is, baby.
we've been working to this moment. We've been
All the
getting
pain is
here
on
the whole
purpose.
time. All the pain is on purpose. And I think like what was coming through for me as you said all of that was it's there's endurance to
Ooh, I love that word.
rise to the potential that you feel is there, even when you can't grab it, even when it's not. And that I love that you said, that it doesn't happen overnight, that you have the patience to sit with it, to be bad, to fail. And I feel like,
To be judged, to be misunderstood, to have your friends and family go, oh, look at her. She loves herself. Look at her on the Instagram. Oh, she loves herself. Okay. Yeah, I do. And guess what? I'm hollering at a dream. So yeah, somebody says you're too much. Somebody literally recently said to me, "Oh, Judy, you're a lot," and I go, "Okay, well then go be less." Like
mm, mm, you're free to do that too.
you're free to do that too, but like you have that too. Like there will be people that do not understand your assignment, and you have to be okay with dropping some of those relationships like business calc. I've had to shed a lot of people and a lot of layers in this becoming too, and that is hard. There will be people that you deeply love that do not, because then if you change and you go and you grow, oh, you're not their safe thing anymore. And you also hold up a mirror for what they're not ready to do in themselves. So that is hard. That's a dance in itself.
And that's, I feel like we think because in the moment that feels bad, the fact that we've grown and somebody else is not handling that very well. But you also may be the permission slip that causes them the catalyst for them to say, maybe that's possible for me too, or maybe my version of that is possible for me too. So I think our preconceived notions about, that momentary pain about, whether, we don't want to offend anybody. We don't want to, so I will sacrifice myself to please you or to make you comfortable. And thank you for sharing all of that, because I think that it gets distorted and there's so many voices out there and there's so much noise. And with this show, part of my mission, we just hit 400 episodes.
Oh, that's no small. So you've been on the air about 4
Thanks.
years then, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's no
5.
small feat. That's no small feat. Congratulations.
Thank you. And just at that, like, whenever I hit a milestone, it's like, okay, well, now what's the mission? Like, let's revisit this. What else? I'm not
What's
going to like,
next? Yeah,
yeah.
like
Well, I'm
what's
like,
the evolution?
what do I
Yeah.
want to step into? What's the message that I want to bring to the show? We've talked about 400 things on here. So what's kind of the next iteration? And for me, I really want to bring voices on where they can share what what it really takes, because there's a lot of bullshit out there.
There
And
is
I want this to be a place
so
of
much.
no bullshit.
Yes. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. I just, you come from the acting world and even in the speaking world, and I think we're moving into as we sort of prepare to welcome the sleeping phoenix into the energetics of our world in 2027 and into the next 400 years. We're the new. I think us creatives and us light workers and us paradigm shifters and us human designers are the new soldiers. We're on the front lines of this revolution, and it is more important now than ever if the future is going to be about individuality. If old systems and structures and antiquated ways of doing and being are going to be burnt down, they will over the next 400 years, and it's going to be about self-sovereignty and taking power back and individuality.
Yeah.
It feels like a really good time to understand who the F you are. What is real for you? Like for real, real. Because everybody says keep it real. So what is real for you? What's your point of view? What's your perspective? What are you inspired by? Right? Are you in the laboratory of your life? Are you out there recreating to recreate so you can build a point of view and perspective? You want a cool keynote? You want a great book? Go live an interesting life and tell me all about it. Because that's what's going to make you unique and original and an individual in a world that is getting more systemized and fake and botted and AI'd by the minute. So now's the time. We're the soldiers. We're on the front lines. And I am just so excited to be a part of it. And think of what it's going to do for all the babies, the kids watching us. We are the soldiers.
Yeah. I love that. And I think about that all the time, because especially now we're in a world where facts who even knows what a fact is anymore? Like, it's totally
What
put
is
into
real?
question. I watched the other day, I watched a video where I was watching it. It sounded so real. It sounded so,
Oh, it's unbelievable.
and I looked at it, I was like, that's a fake mouth, and he wouldn't say these things. And
Yes.
I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, this is a deep fake. And so now, and what I think
Scary.
human design's role in all of this, as I see it, or the thing that I think is really valuable, is you're not trusting the outside world. We're not looking
Yep.
for these trusted things, which are going to go away, to validate our opinions, but to actually come back home to us and to make decisions from our truth. And I think a lot of us have not known for a long time what our truth really is, because we have been identifying with the outside world. We've been looking at the outside world to say, tell me what to do, tell me who I am, tell me what's me and what's right for me. Tell me what I need to do to get the things that I want. I want to write the book. I want to write. I'm in the process of, trying to find a book publisher, and I've said I wanted to write a book for years, but I know the book wasn't ready because I wasn't ready. I wasn't there
Oh, you
yet.
were writing it. Oh, by the way,
Oh,
you were
been
writing
writing it
it.
the whole time.
Your life is the writing. Like
Yeah.
you have been writing this book your whole
This is
life.
my first album. Like, like bands have like their first album, and it's like it's like Pearl Jam 10 or
You were
something, where it's like
working.
this is
You were working in the
the
silence.
whole life has been culminating at this moment. But it wasn't ready to be born. And I respected that timeline. And there were some people in my life that would say to me, like, you've been talking about it for years. You just have to do it. And I'm like, it really just feels like it's not there yet. I don't feel like I'm procrastinating. I
Oh,
feel like I'm brewing.
see, and you're feeling into it as an emotional. That is the big question I'm asking myself.
Yeah.
You'd be so proud of me. I've been telling people, I'm like, you know what? Thank you so much for that request. I love it. Let me feel into it, and I'll get back to you in the next couple of days. But yeah, I mean, I feel you on it's an ultimate power move. Let me feel into that. And in COVID, all my speaker friends, everybody, they're like, okay, cool. We're just gonna drop a book, a book, a book. Everybody started dropping all these books, and everybody's like, "Oh, 8 years it took me to write my next book." I was like, I wasn't ready. She wasn't there yet. She hadn't hit. And then when Holler hit, when it hit, and I knew exactly what I was going to do. So you're on that path. Like you felt it into it. And now she's ready. But yeah, you're taking your power back. It is about not looking outside of you. It's looking inside of you, like Dorothy, the ruby red slippers. She had them the whole freaking time. It was always inside of her. She didn't need Oz. And I think that's it in a nutshell. That's the metaphor. There is no Oz. It's why, like you even look, draw the parallels to self-publishing. People are artists, no longer going with big labels. A lot of these musicians
Yeah.
are like the Doechis of the world. They're pulling back their power, and they're creating their own armies and their own team and their own worlds, right? It's why kids are like, oh, I don't need Disney anymore.
Right.
And actually, I don't need to go to audition for Saturday Night Live. I'm going to make my own show, and I'm going to be whatever, Mr. Beast or this, and create my own world. That's how Sleeping Phoenix feels for me, energetically and creatively for a lot of people. So I think whether you're writing a book or building a show or creating anything new, this is a good time to like self-sovereignty here, because the way it used to be done, there's gatekeepers. I think it's kind of, we are the gate. Like we're going to be able to like sort of hire ourselves, which is really cool to consider, right? We hold the power.
I think authenticity is its own currency. I think and I think that we are moving into a space right now where people are feeling into the investments that they make, into the people that they put their time and energy into. They're energetically feeling into that more than ever, rather than looking at the features or the credentials or that. It's just like, do I feel something authentic from this person? And I think for the first time, that's becoming one of the top priorities versus, all of the other accolades and things. And I think if people start to prioritize that within themselves, the minute I started to prioritize who I was and my level of authenticity with myself and making that my priority, everything changed. And human design was just the framework that I used to find that. And to stop, instead of being like, what's authentic? Let me go watch this person's video online and see what their authentic is, and then see if I could be that authentic. And that's not authentic. Instead, I went like to me And the lens of the chart was just like, let's explore this aspect of
Oh,
me.
yeah?
How am I not living that?
Yes.
And be like, oh yeah,
You got
ooh.
curious.
I got very
Because if
curious.
something doesn't belong to you, it won't stay with you and you won't want to stay with it, right? And so, yes, and
Correct.
do not go out and paint your life with someone else's brush. And so the canvas of your life. And so human design is a beautiful tool to if you it's a great place to start. I don't know. I wish this was taught in school. Like it is the
Yeah.
future. To me, it is the one thing I would say I have done personally that has changed. Because when I read my chart and when I really started to unpack, I was like, the level of understanding I had in myself and the level of confidence I got because I felt so protected. I was like, yep, here's why I'm here. This has all been on purpose. I am in the neighborhood. I'm just moving into a new house, as you told me. A different house down the street. We're just gonna upgrade a little bit. But like, oh my God, if you are, I mean, everybody listening is likely obsessed with human design like we are. But it's a really beautiful tool to figure out who you are and what real is for you. And so I think one of the biggest things you could ask yourself, and this is something I ask people at networking events, is, instead of the what do you do and where are you from and tell me where are you vacation, the small talk.
Yeah.
If you ever see me out, I'm going to ask you this. So would you have an answer? And I'd love to know your answer right now. Is what inspires you? Like, so what's inspiring you right now? Because now I don't get the corporate mask. I get you. What are you reading? What are you listening to? Where are you traveling? Are you inspired by Spain? Are you inspired by graffiti? Did you just go somewhere cool? I'm really into protein and yogurt. Oh my God, I'm doing this thing at the gym. Like I start to find out who you are.
Yeah.
And what's inspiring you right now? Whether it's what you're reading, what you're listening to, what you're wearing, what you're vibing with, right? So like, what is that thing that's inspiring you right now is a beautiful thing to be able to answer. And if you don't have a list of the people, places, and things that inspire you in your notes on your iPhone, go do that. That's homework assignment. Like keep that running list, I'll
Yeah.
have things that are forever inspiring me. Things like Gilda Radner, right? She's one of my biggest inspirations. Oh my God,
Love her.
I mean,
She was my mom's favorite.
oh my
And so I
God,
grew up.
Gilda. I mean, it was amused me. The Beastie Boys, the Boombox. Graffiti, the entire generation of the 90s. Like these are OGs, like, neon colors. These are OG denim. These are OGs in my life that have always inspired me in everything I do. Go take a spin through my world and you'll see that. But then there are new things that come in, that I get inspired by. I move to the desert and I start to get to know cactuses. I'm like, yo, like a cactus blooms in the desert. No water, flowers. I'm like, dude, if it can do that, I can do anything. So I got really inspired by cacti. And now I'm really into I just picked up a crocheting thing and I'm really into spray paint right now. So I'm so playing with spray paint. So again, it makes me an interesting person and it inspires my work. So what are you inspired by, Nicole? I'd love to know what you're inspired by right now. Like what's really turning you on right now?
What am I
Creatively,
inspired by right now?
personally?
I have actually gone back in time. So I was very much in the here and now for a while, like musically and stuff like that. Music has always been one of my biggest inspirations. I was a music, kid. I had an almost famous moment in my life
my
where I
God.
like knew these people in concerts. So I went to like every show in New York City for like 3 years.
Can you
and-
sing? Are you a singer?
I'm not a singer. I can sing okay. I can carry a tune, but I would not call myself a singer. I wish I could have been a singer. But like, yeah, I've sat on like, on the speakers on the side of the stage at Pearl Jam and stuff like that
Oh
with
my
like Meg
God.
Ryan. Like I had
Great
moments like
taste.
that. But right now, yeah, I've gone back to like the 90s. I've gone back to like 90s rock because I was like an alternative girl. And I'm just sort of kind of swimming
Ooh,
in
fun.
it was very angsty, the time. And while I don't feel angsty necessarily, I am kind of raging against the machine a little bit at the moment.
Another great band from the 90s.
And I know I've been cranking them in the
Ooh,
car.
I'm gonna play them on my ride home.
And like hard rock, like it's kind of just been speaking to me at the moment, going back to like
Ooh, there's something in there. This is fun.
and just the sounds, and I've been really inspired by just the emotionality of that time. It was like a big open wound, the 90s, of just like there was joy, there was hope, but there was also just like, look at our pain.
Yeah, rebellion a
It's
little.
real.
Yeah.
And there's something that's just kind of calling to me right now and there were times where I couldn't listen to it like I used to. And then, but I'm having a moment with it right now. So that's kind of like, I worked out this morning. I worked out to like Stone Temple Pilots and those old bands. And I've just kind of been watching like when I cook, my husband and I cook, we put on like old concerts on YouTube and we dance and we cook, and
I love
I'm
this.
I'm fully like in love with all of that. And yeah, and then outside of that, it's honestly, I'm inspired by silence right now. I like walks without the
What a
earbuds
great answer.
and just listening to birds and walking my dogs and just having nothing and seeing what that space, like a walking meditation, can drop in for me. Like when I create the space, because I realize I'm a Manny Gen. I'm not great at creating space, not my strong suit.
Yeah.
You know, we can fill time.
Yes. You like to fill time.
We love to move, and I love to move. So I can move, but I can also be quiet. And that's sort of something that's kind of, filling my soul at the moment.
Thank you for all. Okay, so look what, so listener, watcher, look what just happened there. That's Nicole. That's
Yeah.
not a mask. That's something very interesting and unique and real. And I can't wait to watch what you do with some of this self-discovery and some of this inspiration. And the silence answer was so unexpected and so beautiful. And as a projector, just makes my soul sing, right? Because the silence is just like, that thing to get really comfortable with over here if you want to be at the fullest expression of your projectorism. But wow, Nicole, like that's why we want an answer to that question. So who are you? And I think it's hard to know who you are if you don't have things you're inspired by, if you're not out in your life living it, if you're not, the first thing cut is recreation and vacations and fun stuff and creative expression. We take it off our calendar because we're slammed and busy and overwhelmed, but it's actually in all of that you find out who you are. So court your creativity. Take yourself out on those weekly. Anne Lamott writes about those creativity. Julia Cameron in The Artist's
Yes.
Way, the creativity dates, right? So are you an active participant in the creative process that is your life? And all of that will give you point of view and perspective.
If you want to create something, you have to court that
You have to court
creativity.
it.
You've got to, and silence, journaling, all of those ways of just experiencing and spending time with yourself is where that can come through. You can't do it when you're moving all the time.
No.
Um, so should we ask the book a question?
Okay, you want me to read? We'll
Yeah.
do an
Yeah.
oracle reading. So,
Yes.
ladies and gentlemen,
Do
we're
it.
going to flip through Holler at Your Dreams and see what she gives us today, as we sort of think about how we want to wrap this up and what message we're going to leave not just the listeners with, but ourselves with today. So this is for all of us listening. We just shared space together, sacred space together. So let's get the message we need to move on with our day and have her tell us. And I'm gonna give her a couple flips here, but I think I kind of want to do a soft flip to the beginning here somewhere. Oh my gosh. Oh,
What do we got?
Lord. Okay. We opened to Graveyard of Dreams, which is very interesting because intuitively at the beginning, when we were talking about what one of your fears was, when we were talking about fear, you were like, the things I haven't done, the things I've held back on are really these things that, it's the truth about it is the fear of success. Oh my God, what if it works? And what if I become? And what if, oh my God, there's attention? And what if people see me? And then now, oh my God, I'm going to get feedback. And oh my God, it's scary. Growth is scary because success is the real true fear, the master fear, the mother of all fears, right? So many, what I was going to say to you, and then we moved on, so many dreams end up in the graveyard because of that, the graveyard of dreams. And so I opened to Graveyard of Dreams, a piece in the book, and I'll read it to you. And there's also a poem on the other side called State of Emergency. This is a state of emergency. So I might read you the last section of State of Emergency and Graveyard of Dreams because they kind of go together.
Okay.
So Graveyard of Dreams, one of my favorite quotes of all time is the Les Brown Graveyard of Dreams quote. And honestly, it reads more like a piece of poetry than a quote, an epitaph, an invitation, an anthem, a power ballad, a call to action that reminds us that success goes to those who keep moving. Here's what he writes. This is one of my favorite quotes of all of the earth of time. The graveyard is the richest place on earth because it is here that you will find all the hopes and dreams that were never fulfilled, the books that were never written, the songs that were never sung, the inventions that were never shared, the cures that were never discovered, all because someone was too afraid to take the first step. Keep with the problem or determined to carry out their dream. So that's the essence of hollering at your dreams. It's not all the steps. It's not the perfect business plan. It's not the perfect systems or strategy. It's the first step. and then the next step, and then the next step. Next to it is a piece called This is a State of Emergency. And the last part of it is there's 3 sections I talk about. This is a state of emergency, your mind. This is a state of emergency, your body. And I share why it's important to pay attention to those 2 things. But the last one is this is a state of emergency, your soul. It always knows deep in your bones if it's a yes or if it's a no, but your ego, it loves control. Did you know that ego is just identity in a role built on fear, doubt, and self-patrol? Science, yo. It'll trick your mind, get you misaligned, have you thinking you're better than or less than, but you are neither. You are the ether. You are the breath. Between lightning and thunder, you are like no other. I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry.
Different by design, divinely by wonder. To read my poetry out loud is like, thank you.
Thank you for sharing it with us.
It's like a dream come true. I am so sorry.
Why are you sorry?
Oh my God.
You're hollering at your dream.
It is a dream. Like, it's the first time I've read publicly things I've written so privately. That is what it feels like to holler at your dreams, you know? It just is so, it's medicine, it's trust, it's vulnerable. It's scary, but yeah, I'm so proud of myself right now. Like, I just can't believe I did it, you know? And I get to share it with you and to say it out loud. I just did not expect to be so emotionally charged, but it says a lot about the safety you give me. So,
I think it's a gift to
oh my
not
gosh.
be like unfeelingly walking
Yeah.
through that. That was beautiful. And I love how that's written, where the graveyard of dreams, that even just saying that hit home for me. So I love owning this book. You open up to that, you see graveyard of dreams, and that gives you, it's like pulling a card. You know, you're being invited into this space to say, like, for some reason, this is the message that I was given today.
Yes.
And what does that mean for me? And what if I walked through the graveyard of my dreams? What do I see there? What are the hopes and dreams that are laying there, you know, and what does it say on the tombstone?
What's lying
You
dormant? And
know,
this is a state of emergency. And when I wrote that, I think that's why I felt it so deeply, because I was trying to tell myself, like, Judy, wake up. This is a state of emergency. You are the ether, my girl. You are everything. You are everything in all of it and then some. I wrote this book to heal myself, you know? And so to be able to say it out loud just brought me right back to where I was when I wrote it. I remember what I was wearing and where I was sitting and how I was feeling and who I was becoming. And so I really felt like it was an emergency for me to remember this, right? And to come back home to myself. And so, yeah, what's a state of emergency in your life, and what needs to be looked at acutely and urgently to bring you back home to yourself so it doesn't end up in the graveyard of dreams. And this book almost did. And I think that's why I got so emotional, because she might not have been here had I not woken up, you know?
I think
So,
this is a call to the listener. What dream are you not honoring with your patience, with your endurance, and your willingness to stay with it through the uncomfortable and through the times where it doesn't feel like it's going to happen? But it's yours. If it's yours, it is sustainable. It will be there.
and this is an emotional projector moment, by the way, brought to you by Unshakable with Nicole.
Thank you for being here. Where can they get this amazing book?
So you can buy this book anywhere books are sold, and you can find out all the good information on judyholler.com or holleratyourdreams.com. Specifically, we're in pre-order, and book is officially out on September 9th. So anywhere you love to buy books, she'll be, and I can't wait for you. You have to, if you go get, you have to tell me, holler at your girl, find me on Instagram, and tell me.
Take a
What you thought.
picture of it.
Yeah,
Put
tag
it on.
me.
Put it on Instagram. Tag Judy.
Oh, your favorite piece. I can't wait to hear how people respond to it and what they latch onto, and what your first official oracle reading answer is going to be, you know?
Yeah, open your page, take a picture, put it out there, tag Judy. And I'm so excited. I've already ordered. I've already
You
pre-ordered my
did. I thank you for that.
multiple copies.
Yes, she did.
And because I can't wait to get it. I'm going to give it as gifts. And I'm just so grateful to you for being here,
Thank you for the
being you,
space.
for bringing this to us, for taking your
Thank
time to come
you.
here.
It felt good. I needed it. My soul needed it today. And to meet you in person was really lovely. Thank you for the work you're doing in the world. I'm so glad you're my human design muse and mentor. And I can't wait to go even deeper on all of that. But just like, thank you for opening my eyes in a new way and for trusting me with your audience. You have a really great, and I love the Luna monthly.
Oh, Christina,
Oh, the Christina, those are so fun, and
I
I
love
put
her.
it on my calendar, and I do it, and I write it. I sit down with coffee. Oh, it is a sacred I pot, and I write it down, and it is a ritual
It
in my life every
helps.
month.
It
Oh,
helps.
yeah.
I go back to those episodes and I re-listen to them, or sometimes I text her and I'm just like, dude, what you said about the 12th? No shit.
And the way you layer it with the gates and the things that are happening, oh my god, it's so good, Nicole.
Thank you very
That's
much.
a thing.
And thank you for being you.
Yeah, you're
Thank you
welcome.
for everything that we've gotten to do together, because you are absolutely my favorite type of person to work with. Somebody that like loves and honors the work and just goes out there and lives it. It's the greatest thing. Thank you. And thank you, listener, for making it all the way to the end of this episode with us. We appreciate you. And remember, in order to have an unshakable business, you must first become an unshakable human. So thanks for letting us help you become unshakable with human design. We'll see you next time.